here's the things I would know if I was you concerning the true or false questions. First of all, I would know those 4 congressional changes that President Jefferson recommended to Congress, and which of those they accepted and which of those they may not have accepted. Okay, so those congressional changes by Jefferson would be important to know, including the ones that they took as recommendation and the ones that he did not. Second thing I would know for the true or false is what President Jefferson and the Republicans did for revenge after John Marshall ruled on Madison versus Marbury, or Marbury versus Madison. What did the Republicans and President Jefferson do for revenge after John Marshall ruled on Marbury versus Madison? I would know the candidates in the election of 1804. Okay, I would know the candidates in the election of 1804. I would know the candidates in the election of 1808. And I would know the results of the election of 1812. And I would know the results of the election of 1812. Concerning the war in Europe, I would know the strength of both the French and the British military. I would know the strength of both the French and the British military concerning war in Europe. The strength of the British and French military. I would know what the orders in council were and the Embargo Act of 1807. The orders in council and the Embargo Act of 1807. That'll probably do it. If you know that stuff, you'll be pretty good on the true and false. Now, I don't remember what I tell you because I forget. Have we talked about procedures on true and false? Okay, basically, what's that? Well, yeah, but then you're just going to circle T or F on the sheet. And then remember, on true or false, the best thing to do for kids that are bright is to read the question one time, really good, and answer it and don't go back. Because if you go back, you're going to talk yourself out of something more than likely. And I think I did tell you about the basketball referee test I took one year. I told you that story, right? Or not? One year I took the basketball test and there was 100 true or false questions and I answered them all true on purpose to see what that would do. And I passed the test with like 74%. They changed the test now. It's multiple choice and true and false, which is really kind of a bummer because it was really easy to take before, right? Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, here are your short answers. So Kate Wasson, my dear, I want you to list the 3 things in order that were stated by Chief Justice John Marshall in his ruling in the case Marbury versus Madison. 3 things in order that he stated in his ruling Marbury versus Madison. What's the first thing he stated then? What? Who went where? Who had the right to his commission? No, he was the one that made the decision. So who had the right to the commission? He was the one suing. So Izzy, give me the first one, and then I'll get back to Kate. Well, tell me the first thing he stated.
William Marbury has a right to commission according to the Judiciary Act of 1789.
That's right. He ruled that William Marbury had the right to his commission by virtue of the Judiciary Act of 1789. However, Kate, what was the second thing he said? And it is what? He stated secondly that the Judiciary Act of 1789 was unconstitutional. Which the third thing he stated was what, Zoe? That's right. So the 3 things that were stated by Chief Justice John Marshall in his decision Marbury versus Madison. Number 1, that Madison was entitled to his commission as a result of the Judiciary Act of 1789. However, number 2, he ruled the Judiciary Act of 1789 unconstitutional, which leads us to the third thing he stated, that Marbury would not receive his commission. Okay? Everybody clear on those? Perfect. Bailey. This is a little tougher one, but I want you to name one specific statement that was made by Chief Justice Marshall when he established the doctrine concerning judicial review. What did he say when we talk about judicial review? He said what?
Supreme Court has final say to what is constitutional and what
The
isn't.
Supreme Court has final say in all matters of law, what is constitutional or non-constitutional. Okay? What's the second thing it stated, Luke Lamb?
The Supreme Court will exercise the power to keep the President and Congress.
The second thing he stated was what?
The Supreme Court will exercise the power to keep the President and Congress in check.
Okay, in check legally, right? In other words, probably a better way to put that is that the Supreme Court has the right to view any actions made by the Congress or the President as constitutional or unconstitutional, right? Did it state anything else? Anybody have anything else? The Supreme Court can overrule Congress and the President of the United States. You're going to need to know a couple of those, so know those statements that were made by Chief Justice John Marshall when he established this doctrine we know as judicial review, okay? Carter, what 2 events in order set up the stage for the duel between Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr? What 2 things in order set the stage for that duel?
Hamilton campaigned against her.
Hamilton campaigned against Aaron Burr when Burr ran for governor of New York. If you put Hamilton campaigned against Burr when he ran, he could be either person, and it's not clear. So Alexander Hamilton campaigned against Aaron Burr, who was running for governor of New York. Remember, Alexander Hamilton never ran, did he, for governor of New York? No, he campaigned against Aaron Burr, who was running. Okay, that's the first thing that led to it. What was the second thing, Mackenzie? As a result of the first thing, what happened that led to the duel? Well, not yet. So Alexander Hamilton campaigned against Aaron Burr, who was running for the governorship of New York. That's the first thing that led to the duel. What was the second thing? Well, Alexander Hamilton couldn't be challenged for a duel because he campaigned against the guy. But remember, the guy lost, and he wanted Hamilton to what? Apologize publicly, or publicly apologize, and Hamilton refused. So the first part of what set up the duel was that Alexander Hamilton campaigned against Aaron Burr when Aaron Burr ran for governor of New York. The second thing that occurred is Alexander Hamilton asked Aaron Burr asked Alexander Hamilton to apologize publicly to him for an uncomplimentary remark he made during that campaign, and he refused. Okay? Regan? Why did Alexander Hamilton make no attempt to fire his pistol at Aaron Burr during their famous duel?
Because he lost his son to a duel at the same exact spot and got another race pistol.
Again, that was very good. Yeah, he lost a son to a duel in the exact same location of that duel, and because of that, he had promised never to raise a pistol in anger. Very good. Aisha, why did the United States declare war on Great Britain even though they suspended the orders in council after President Madison's ultimatum to the British?
We were impatient and failed communication.
Perfect answer. They were impatient. The United States was impatient, did not wait for an answer long enough about the suspension of the orders in council. So when they didn't get an answer, They declared war. Very good. Bailey, what did the Federalists call the upcoming War of 1812 against the British? What did the Federalists call the upcoming War of 1812 against the British?
Mr. Madison's War.
Mr. Madison's War. Very good. Dylan, give me one of the four major reasons why the United States declared war on Great Britain on June 18, 1812. What was one of the reasons they did?
They were capturing homes or American ships.
No. They were impressed, they had impressed over 7,000 American sailors. They wanted them back. Okay? So one of the reasons was the impressment of 7,000 American sailors. Riley, what's another reason that the United States declared war on Great Britain? Because England had violated America's freedom of the seas. Because England had violated America's freedom of the seas. Danny, give me another one. American national pride. Very good. And Daniel, what was the last one? You should be pretty good at this since you always come back late from lunch. Must be pretty hungry if you're allowed to eat lunch every day. So what was the fourth one? Have you ever had that land sandwich at McDonald's? Anyway, so what's the fourth one?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay. You ever had the land sandwich at McDonald's, Riley?
Land.
What? So what was the other reason? Daniel, you had one word of it correct. There's 4 words total. You got land right.
Yeah, I'm getting to it.
Daniel's hunger for land.
Yeah.
How about America's hunger?
America's land.
Tatum, bail somebody out here, would you please, dear? And tell me one of the 3 specific Spanish-owned land areas that the United States longed for.
Southern Alabama.
Southern Alabama. Very good. Southern Alabama. Andy, how about another Spanish-owned land that the United States longed for?
Western Florida.
Well, we call it Western Florida, but better Spanish Florida. Because not all of Florida was Spanish at the time, remember? Okay, Spanish Florida. And the third one, Caleb,
Land in southern Canada
why would they want that?
for the timber.
Yeah, I would put heavily timbered land in southern Canada. All right, we have 10 true or false. We have 15 short answers. That will be 25 points, 25 answers times 3, 75. Report directly out to the cafeteria tomorrow. We will give you a time limit to finish this. It's not very long. And then Daniel and I will be taking part in a duel at the end of that particular test. Any questions at all? All right, we're going to do something a little different for the rest of the period. Okay, yesterday, November 11th,